Hey, what's up, guys? It's Bakes here, and thank you for joining me for this episode of my random horror reviews. Today's movie is one from 2019, and it is Annabelle Comes Home. This is the third Annabelle movie in the trilogy, and it's also obviously part of the Conjuring universe. This was only a second time watch for myself for this review, which kind of surprised me a little bit because I am pretty familiar with majority of the films in the Conjuring universe, and when I put it in for a rewatch for this review, I was like, fuck, this is actually only like my second time checking it out. So caught me off guard there. I saw this one for the first time, I think when I was house sitting for someone, and I chucked it on in their theater room, and I actually thought it was pretty decent. I actually find it crazy that we got a third Annabelle movie before we got the third Conjuring film, which I think just goes to show the potential of what they thought they had with the Annabelle character and how profitable it could have been as a spin off for the franchise. But either way, before we get into my thoughts of Annabelle Comes Home, let's quickly get into the plot for this one. So, this movie opens with Ed and Lorraine Warren coming into possession, or I guess taking custody of the Annabelle doll, and they put it in that demon room that they have in their house. We've seen it before in the Conjuring universe. A little room where they keep artifacts and cursed things that they take from people and keep them safe or whatever. But in this movie, however, we more so focus on their daughter Judy, and Ed and Lorraine head out for some reason, I can't really remember, but they leave Judy with a babysitter, and after some circumstances, Annabelle is let loose and in turn also releases a lot of other entities and demons and spirits from that demon possession room, and now Judy and the babysitter and a couple of other characters have to find Annabelle and lock her up again in her little chest, and just keep themselves safe. So that's pretty much the plot that we have for Annabelle Comes Home. So let's get into my thoughts of it now. Having this movie take place inside the Warrens' home could have been another movie easily focused on Ed and Lorraine Warren again. But I really like the choice to have their daughter Judy and the babysitter be the protagonists of this film. Not saying that I dislike the Warrens or anything like that, but I think, we've seen them enough in the Conjuring universe. I think it doesn't really hurt to change up the leads of this film. And as I said, I think it's really good here. Just the idea of having this teenage babysitter who is completely out of her element dealing with demons and spirits, and then you've got the daughter who vaguely knows stuff because of who her parents are. I just thought that was all pretty cool. But I guess I'll start with the daughter Judy, who in this movie is played by McKenna Grace, who not only did I forget was in this movie, but I think she's got to be one of the greatest modern child actors working, and really underrated as well. Like she's in Haunting of Hill House, Ghostbusters, just to name a few. But again, she's really good here. And in this movie, she's extremely likable and sympathetic because she has this burden, if you want to call it that, of what her parents do affecting her life. Like, she doesn't care that, her mum and dad, Ed and Lorraine, are these paranormal investigators. It doesn't bother her, but she doesn't have friends her age, and she gets shunned by her peers, and it sucks because she's just so nice and likable in this movie, as I said. But it's shown in the film. The other kids are told by their parents, don't hang out with her because their parents are weirdos or whatever. And just the way that McKenna Grace plays this character, as I said, it comes off very sympathetic, and you're like, oh, damn, just you want her to have friends. But you've also got this angle where she's developing her mum's abilities, being able to see and communicate with the dead. And I also thought that was just really well done. It wasn't pushed too much either, which I think also benefited her character in the story. But like I said, I really enjoyed having her as one of the leads in this film. Continuing on with the performances, another lead alongside McKenna Grace in this movie is the babysitter. I believe the babysitter's name is Mary Allen, and I actually forget the actress that plays her. She's just one of those actresses with a very familiar face. Hopefully I've got the right name here matching the person, but I think her name is Madison Eisman. But I also thought she was really good. As I said, she's the lead alongside McKenna Grace, and also really likable, just like McKenna Grace's character was. I had to look what else that actress has been in. As I said, I think her name is Madeline Eisman. And it actually wasn't as much as I expected or could have sworn that I've seen her in, but I'm actually like concerned how little she's been in because I thought she was like really good in this movie. I wouldn't be surprised if we just see her more and more as time goes, but as I said, she did a great job as co-lead in this movie. But in this movie, we also have one of Mary Ellen's friends. I believe her character's name was Daniela. I can't remember any character's name, sorry about that. But for a massive portion of this movie, I found her to be really annoying, this Daniela friend. As a character, she's pretty much there just to get the ball rolling for shit to go wrong. As in, she comes over to the house uninvited, or more so, she blackmails Mary Ellen into being there. But she's just kind of annoying right from her introduction. And then once she crashes the babysitting, she just gets so snoopy and also really rude. Like, she asks Judy, like, really out-of-pocket questions. And I guess that's how you're meant to feel about her character. Like, she's meant to be somewhat annoying and snoopy, so it's just one of those things. Whenever I think of a character that's meant to be annoying but still is annoying, I think of the Babadook, because that kid in the movie is so fucking annoying. Yes, he's meant to be, but still doesn't make him not annoying. It's sort of the same here with Daniela. It even gets to a point where they try to make you sympathise with her by going into detail why she wants to know more about the Warrens' home and, why she's being so snoopy. But as I said, it doesn't take much back because the character still is kind of annoying. But the point that I'm trying to say is this movie, for a very young cast and a very small cast, it is very well acted and very well done. So good acting overall in this movie. Another super fun element to this movie is the fact that it's not just the Annabelle doll doing creepy shit, but a variety of entities, because like I said in the plot description, everything in that demonic room is let loose because Annabelle's let loose. So the creativity of having Annabelle accompanied by like a demonic bride, a hullhound, which is essentially a ghost werewolf, which was probably my favourite spirit or demon or whatever you want to call it in the movie. I thought that was pretty cool. You got the ferryman or even a haunted board game. I thought that was all pretty cool and all pretty creative. However, I know we all wanted that samurai suit to do something fucking hectic. I've seen that samurai suit so many times in the Conjuring universe in the background of other movies whenever they go in that room, and I've always wondered, I wonder what the fucking story is behind that. And it actually does come to life a couple of times in this movie, but we all know it could do something a lot more badass than what it does in this movie. But still, as I said, a good variety of spirits and all that alongside Annabelle. But I will say, while on the topic of the threats or whatever, I will say I had an issue that I never really felt like there was a true threat of anyone dying or whatever in this movie. Firstly, there's actually a part where someone is fake killed. Like, the character is stabbed with a knife, but then like a second later it's instantly shown that it was a fake out. And right from that point, it's kind of like, okay, so I guess nobody's dying in this movie. It just sort of feels like that. And even with all that aside, like that scenario that I was talking about, it just doesn't have that life-threatening feel to it. And with that being said, it is also a very simple movie, which for a long time watching the film I was thinking was a big issue, because it feels like the story and everything going on isn't really amounting to much. But then as the movie was wrapping up and I was sort of putting my thoughts together, I was thinking, okay, yes, it's still a very simple movie, but sometimes having a movie not so grand and, on such a high scale, especially compared to a lot of the other movies that we get in the Conjuring universe, it's refreshing, and it's easy to keep a movie like this one a lot more light and a lot more fun. And I'd probably say this is one of the more digestible movies in the Conjuring universe, because I don't know, there's just this light sort of fun feel compared to a lot of the other movies going on in that franchise. So as I'm wrapping up my overall thoughts, maybe not the best Annabelle movie of the trilogy, but possibly the most rewatchable. Like, I've seen Annabelle Creations the most out of the trilogy. For those who don't know, it's the second out of the three. And it's probably the most regarded as the best of the three as well. And I'll still say that I agree, though it has been a little while since I last rewatched Annabelle Creation, and I think the last time I did rewatch it as well, I was a little bit let down compared to previous times watching it beforehand. But I still think that is a pretty solid movie. But I never rewatched the first Annabelle movie, because that one's like literally terrible. Which this movie definitely is not. Like I said, it's rewatchable, it's fun, it's nothing close to offensive. Like, I just wouldn't be able to agree with anybody at all if they were calling this a bad movie, because I think it's far from it. I think it's actually pretty fucking good. Though it's maybe not great or mind-blowing, it's entertaining, it's fun, and it's everything that I said throughout this review. I'm going to give Annabelle Comes Home, I'm going to give it a 7. Like, I think it's honestly pretty fucking solid. Maybe even close to a 7.5. I'll stick to a 7 for now, but like floating in that range. Like, I think this movie is like genuinely pretty fun, pretty solid. If I had to guess where I'd rank it in the Conjuring universe, like bring in the Conjuring films and the other spin-offs and whatever, honestly, I think it would probably sit around middle, or maybe just in the better half. Probably just in the better half. There are some fucking stinkers, but I think this one's, like, as I said, pretty fucking solid. Maybe that's the next franchise I should do in my ranking series, rank the Conjuring universe. Yeah, because I'm trying to think, like, yeah, this is probably definitely in the better half now that I'm like putting them all together in my mind. But if you've seen Annabelle Comes Home, let me know your thoughts of it in the comments below. I feel like it's just sort of been the one that's been forgotten about. Like, a lot of people purposely tried to forget about the first Annabelle spin-off. Annabelle Creation got big praise because, as I said, it was definitely an improvement from the first movie. Not hard to do, but it was. But I don't hear many people bring up Annabelle Comes Home, so let me know your thoughts of it in the comments below. And otherwise, I'll see you for another video soon, guys. Peace.